now joined by On3's Director of Recruiting, Chad Simmons, to break down the commitment of four-star defensive lineman Derrick LeBlanc committing to the Oklahoma Sooners. Chad, what went into this recruitment and why did LeBlanc land on the Sooners?
I think it came down to relationships, trust and best fit. I think on and off the field, I think LeBlanc gave Florida, a long, hard look. I think he considered Penn State strongly as well. But in the end, I think he felt best about the fit, the culture on the field, off the field at Oklahoma under Brent Venables, Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis. I think it goes back to their Clemson days when they recruited him there at Clemson, and just that connection. I think he felt comfortable and best around those guys and being developed as a player and as a young man.
How much of a blow is this to the other schools in Florida? Because I know Miami was in the mix. I know Florida was in the mix. Does this say more to you about the Sooners or more about where the state of Florida is right now when it comes to keeping in-state talent at home?
I think it goes both ways. I think in this one, I think more about the Sooners. I think about Venables. Clemson's had a lot of success, in the state of Florida over the years. I think Venables knows the importance of getting guys, athletes, players, talent out of the Sunshine State as well. This is a big blow for the University of Florida. At one time, they were thought to be the favorite. For LeBlanc, he's visited the Swamp more than any other program in the country. So I think it says more about Oklahoma and the big win for Venables here, but it's also a big blow, big loss for Napier and the University of Florida as well.
And how did Oklahoma go into the state of Florida and get a kid like this? Was it the relationships? Was it the scheme? Was it all of the above? What was the differentiating factor for Oklahoma in this recruitment?
You can start with the scheme. Obviously, you see this year Clemson has guys coming out like Brian Brzee, Miles Murphy, Tyler Davis. The development of the defensive linemen there under Todd Bates in recent years and getting guys to the NFL, that's ultimately every recruit's number one goal. But it goes beyond that, I think, for LeBlanc, and it goes to the culture that Clemson had and that Venables is trying to create at the University of Oklahoma. I think LeBlanc is a big believer in Venables, his personality, his character, his off-the-field player development, and that played just equally as big of a role as well. So I think the combination of defensive lineman development and then character development off the field also.
LeBlanc is 6'4", 270. He's a big boy. What does he bring to the table for Oklahoma?
Yeah, I've had the pleasure to watch LeBlanc play a couple of times going back to the state championship game his sophomore year in Tallahassee. And I think from the minute you see one of them guys that passes the eye test immediately, like you said, pushing 6'5", super long arms, athletic kid, can bend a little twitch there as well. I think the versatility stands out as much as anything from playing the outside to inside. You see him, I think, having more success as a pass rush guy on the interior side against guards and centers, but can easily set the edge on the defensive side on the outside as well. I think he's a guy that has a lot of upside and potential under Todd Bates, under Miguel Chavis, and really in that Brent Venables system defensively. So I think it's all about potential, athleticism, and really versatility for LeBlanc at Oklahoma.
Well, I know for one thing, I don't envy anybody who has to block him. But Chad, thanks so much for coming on. The hardest working man in recruiting, I'm convinced. Folks, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel to stay up with all of the breaking news we're covering here at On3. Derrick LeBlanc is an Oklahoma Sooner. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.